Rolex, like every other luxury watch brand out there, fears two things: the free market and the ease of online shopping. What's even worse is the fact that the luxury watchmakers consistently underestimate the demand and thus the price for their models. And this is despite widespread familiarity with the economic theory of supply and demand. In addition, they periodically make models scarce on purpose to boost their status. Remember, exclusivity is only a thing if the products are hard to find. If you want to purchase any watch, you need a lot of luck on your side or be willing to buy it alongside less desired Rolex models. That is, if you want to acquire one from an authorized dealer. Now, the question we'd like to answer is why? Why the lack of market equilibrium? The grey market may be to blame. For authorized dealers, it's a problem when watch manufacturers get supply and demand wrong. To purchase timepieces, distributors must first pay. This may make it difficult to get rid of unwanted, outdated, or unpopular watches. The Datejust 36mm with a pink diamond dial, for example, would be a tough sell because it's too large for most women and too girly for most men. What's the fix? Usually they would try to sell these watches to a grey market dealer who buys in bulk alongside more popular models. The official retailer's profits will be lower as a result. But meeting Rolex's excessive requirements for selling watches may be counterproductive in the face of pressing cash flow and inventory concerns. Is it beginning to make more sense now? To make ends meet, many authorized dealers wind up selling some of their inventory to non-authorized dealers who can move more of the timepieces that the brands originally intended for them to sell. Contrarily, bulk buyers always enjoy superior prices and selection in any market, which is why grey market vendors frequently have first dibs on the most desirable watches. The lack of contractual ties between Rolex and unofficial sellers means that pricing can be set according to supply and demand rather than a predetermined schedule. They are also permitted to sell timepieces via internet marketplaces, although authorized dealers are not. Now, 20% of all luxury watch sales are reportedly taking place in this grey market due to the enormous inefficiencies in the luxury watch industry. And we know this because it was reported by an article in the Financial Times. Still, folks, some high-end watchmakers have such a strong aversion to this market that they would instead burn unsold inventory than submit to the market's determination of what constitutes a reasonable price, which would inevitably undermine their carefully constructed pricing policy. Now, this might seem like a sort of diversion, but for more than a century, Rolex has built an unbreakable reputation for its products. The legacy they now draw upon was established by real exploration successes. The people responsible have stories to back it up. Books have been published on the brand's exploits, the timepieces they produced, and the role they played in some of humanity's most perilous adventures. Rolex is now firmly established as a luxury product, although one that benefits from the legacy of years of hardy tool watches and the exploits they facilitated. This distinct appearance has given rise to a trademark with a wide range of connotations. There is much conjecture about the effects and roles Rolex plays in the flourishing grey market as a result of the company's embracing of its modern image. Nonetheless, there is a clear divide between Rolex purchasers who prefer to purchase new timepieces from official retailers and those who'd like to collect vintage references. These two groups of Rolex owners represent the extremes at which the market is most outspoken. It's simple to generalize the various groups, yet the truth is richly nuanced. Rolex has opted not to follow the path of reissues and throwback designs, so their current lineup of products is unmistakably contemporary. But there are subtle hints of the old-school collectors that help bridge the gap between the two groups mentioned. Keeping both traditional collectors and cutting-edge viewers interested is crucial to their reputation. Of course, the underground market is another sector that has benefited from this fame. As many of you know, the grey market's existence has been a pain in the neck for brands. But if you don't know what the grey market does and how it works, let us quickly bring you up to speed. The grey market, what this term alludes to, in simplest terms, are timepieces sold by third parties who are not officially allowed to distribute them by the makers. This doesn't make the watches illegal or fake, but they aren't being sold at the recommended retail price set by the makers either. You see, a brand's efforts to improve its reputation and maintain price control over its products are hampered by the grey market's existence. Think about it for a sec. Why would a shopper spend $5,250 on a Speedmaster at maybe an Omega boutique when they can get the same watch from a grey market dealer for only $3,250? This not only harms Omega's ability to profit from their carefully picked distribution channels, including their boutiques, but also damages the value of the Speedmaster brand as a whole. This prevents Omega from effectively promoting the Speedmaster and controlling the consumer's perception of the brand. So to elaborate our discussion on demand and supply, let's think about how Rolex is affected by all of this. Rolex is known for hoarding its most popular models, in contrast to Omega's liberal distribution policies. Their motivation is unclear, but the market impact is not. Certain Rolex sports models are in high demand, but have little availability, leading to healthy speculation and driving up black market prices. As a result, it's becoming increasingly difficult for regular consumers and Rolex watch fans to acquire their desired timepieces at retail. Authorized dealers often have years-long waiting lists, and in some circumstances, you won't even be able to get on the list unless you've done a significant amount of business with the dealer in the past. Not a positive brand experience, and something Rolex could easily fix if they wanted to. Or don't you agree? While this may go down well with today's wealthy consumers, it will almost surely slow growth with tomorrow's shoppers. This we are sure of. A portion of the inventory sold by grey market dealers comes from legitimate manufacturers and distributors that are unable to unload their stock. Crazy, right? References from Rolex history, which are known for their context and their more objective attributes as well-built timepieces, present the greatest challenges here. It's safe to say that everyone from a fan of yesteryear to a follower of today's most popular brand will like them. The Daytona, the GMT, and the Submariner are just a few examples. It is highly improbable that you will find any of these illusions forged in steel at your neighborhood AD. When shopping on the black market, expect to pay a significant premium, and we are not kidding. Grey market transactions are very different from those that take place on a pre-owned peer-to-peer marketplace. Again, a portion of the inventory sold by grey market dealers originates from legitimate retailers who are unable to transfer Rolex watches because of the stringent requirements necessary to keep their Rolex retail license. Let's explain. Rolex ADs are prohibited from engaging in internet sales and must instead encourage customers to make purchases in-store. Also, shops have to take on the stock that sells far more slowly if they want access to the most coveted references. The consumer gains nothing from this equation, which is why the grey market has gladly stepped in to meet demand in a far more progressive manner. Now, you may be wondering, what strategies does Rolex put in place to better serve potential customers who don't already work with local authorized dealers? Again, this is pure conjecture, but there does appear to be a sweet spot where supply and demand may be realistically met. Increasing production by even a little amount would hurt the black market and provide more brand loyalists access to the timepieces they want at affordable costs. This may seem like stating the obvious, and in a sense it is, but it serves to draw attention to the real problem at hand, an antiquated distribution strategy that is dependent on brick-and-mortar stores alone, which in turn rely on salespeople who aren't very adept at attracting new customers. Although it's unrealistic to expect Rolex to immediately adopt a direct-to-consumer model, by the way, they only added pricing information to their website recently, they can hit the grey market where it hurts by releasing a more appropriate amount of supply into the market, cracking down harder on AD's dumping product, and getting more involved with their customers. Now, for those of us who own modern and vintage watches, all we can do is hope.